Welcome to Hungrimind, where we help you build production software with Flutter. There are many types of exceptions: socket exception, format exception, or even I/O exception. They all have clear purposes, telling you exactly what went wrong. So how do we avoid exceptions that don't do this? Let's dive into why meaningful exceptions matter and how they can save you hours of debugging frustration. The dreaded catch-all approach. For example, throwing a HTTP exception with the message unauthorized during a sign-in process can lead to you catching all exceptions. This makes it hard for the calling function to handle specific exceptions. This often results in a convoluted, harder-to-manage codebase. Let's dive into the approaches you should take to create your own exceptions. There are three main topics we need to make sure we handle: clear naming, clear documentation, and creating exceptions. The name of the exception should be clear. If you are handling an unauthenticated scenario, the exception could be named unauthenticated exception. Naming is an important part of programming, but this holds especially true when it comes to naming exceptions. Clear names help identify the cause when thrown unexpectedly, making debugging and maintenance easier. Clear documentation is also critical. When defining exceptions, make sure you are thinking about documenting the exceptions that a method or function can throw. When you are later calling this method, you should be able to quickly ensure you handle all the possible exceptions. Now, how do we create custom exceptions? Any exception you define, you must use the implements keyword. This forces you to implement required methods and properties the interface requires. What about extending an exception? That is valid too. There can be cases where you have an exception you want to create, but also want fine control exceptions derived from that base exception. Exceptions help delivering clear intent and documentation for your code. Now that was quite a lot of information, so let us simplify this. 1. You want clear documentation of what exceptions a function can throw. 2. You should define custom exceptions with clear, easy-to-understand names. We created this small snippet library of valuable snippets you can use in your projects to comment your functions properly and define your exceptions. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn how to build production-ready Flutter apps, check out our course at hungrimind.com.